Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Churchill Downs here on Wednesday. It is the 3rd of May 2023. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Churchill, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it, around the world. Let's look at the stakes action from Churchill. Races 8 and 9. The 8th race, it is the Isaac Murphy Marathon overnight. It's going for a purse of $175,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the main track. The staying trip, or the long distance trip of ground, of 2,400 meters, or a mile and a half on the Churchill main track. 2,400 meters, a mile and a half here in the Isaac Murphy. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse here, Scarlet Fusion. 4167 for me in the superfecta. 4167 super. Top selection of 4 horse, Scarlet Fusion. This 5-year-old horse by Curlin. Joe Sharp trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 28th of January at Sam Houston. Very soft ground, a mile and a half in the John B. Connolly Stakes, and he won by 3/4 length that day. He stalked all the way around the race course. He's a little bit wide, but when he got going, he got going. He got the job done. Coming home with a 96 buyer, which was career best that day. Nothing bad about that run back to the green stuff. He's stepping back to the dirt today. He should get a good trip, and I think he could win. 2 back, he ran in mid-December at Oaklawn, a mile and 1/8 in the Tinsel Stakes, and he finished 3rd by 2 1/4 lengths. Bal Harbor really ran a terrific race. This horse is wide. He moved a little bit late, but he still wanted something there. And then before that, 2nd November at Churchill, a mile and a half in optional 80. He won by 3 3/4 lengths. Course and distance winner. They don't run this race. They don't run this distance on the dirt at Churchill very often, but he really had a dream trip. He stalked. He was a little bit wide, but when he had the clear turn of foot, he went away with it. A very nice run from there. And then late September at Churchill, a mile and 1/8 in optional 80. He finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths that day. He was a little bit wide, a little bit closer than I probably would have liked him that day. Coming here today, he should get a good trip. I think he's gonna, sit not on the lead, but from a tracking trip at 2-1. I'm gonna use him. I think the 1 horse here, Lone Rock, second likeliest winner. He's 7-4 here at Churchill. He won this race last year by 7.5 lengths in a gallop. Coming home with a 90 buyer, not the strongest buyer for him, but he got the job done there. 2 years ago in 2021, he came back with a 94 buyer, winning this race by 3 3/4 lengths from a tracking trip. I thought the 2021 race was a lot better. Last year, that was his only win after that. After that, he ran a 3rd in the Brooklyn, 3rd in the Birdstone. Came back last time out to run a 2nd in Temperance Hill, where he probably needed the race. Is he getting up in there in age where he just can't keep up? We'll figure out today. But even if he runs his B race, if you go off of his 2021 form, he wins this race by a mile. But that wasn't his 6-year-old campaign. That was his 8-year-old campaign. A little questions with him, but I'll use him on the ticket as your wise guy horse. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Churchill, it's the Isaac Murphy Marathon. Let's take the 4 horse Scarlet Fusion. Give kudos to the 1 horse Lone Rock. 4167 super, 4-1 in your multi race. To the lawn, to the 9th race from Churchill, it is the Mamzelle Stakes. It's going for a $225,000 purse. Races for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 10 horses heading to the Matt Wynn Turf Course. The distance of ground here of 1,100 meters, with a distance of ground of 5.5 furlongs on the Churchill Downs Turf Course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs in the Mamzelle. Can't speak, pardon me. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 9 horse here. My Sweet Affair, 9548 in the superfecta for me. 9548 super, top selection 9 horse. My Sweet Affair, this 3-year-old field by Twirling Candy. George Weaver trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of April at Keeneland. 5.5 furlongs in the Limestone Stakes. First-time winners, first-time stakes quality horses, and it was a deep group of horses. He finished 3rd by length that day. She sat back early, a little bit wide, but was gaining there. Nothing bad about the race. A wide trip shouldn't be bad on this turf course. Should see some strong pace, and I think he could get the job done. 2 back ran the 5th of March on debut at Gulfstream. 5 furlongs in main special weight, 70,000. Very speed favoring turf course, especially in the turf sprints or front running style horses. And the horse went by 2 3/4 lengths, a little bit wide, but he got good position, quickened up nicely, and went away with it. A 77 buyer in debut wasn't bad at all. Coming here, should definitely improve off the last run. See a strong trip in front. At 6-1, I'm going to use her. I think the 5 horse Dance Macabre for Kelsley Danner and Anna Beskitzes, your second likeliest winner. Tried the horse routing for the first time in the grade 3. Here Comes the Bride at Gulfstream last time out over the mile. And she won by a head, but I don't think she wanted the trip off of the run. Looking over the replay, she stalked. She had the lead, and she had the lead by a lot in the stretch, but then she kind of decreased stride. She almost got caught late, but she got the job done. Refreshing back to Second off the bench, back to a turf sprint. I think she's in a better spot to win. She probably doesn't need the lead, and I think that could be good for her. I think down the line she probably wants a 7 furlong kind of Belmont Widener turf course race, but she could definitely win here. Two back in the matron at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs, 8th of October. She finished third by 1 3/4 lengths that day. She sat back early, a little bit wide, but she was gaining there. And then untappable at Kentucky Down, 6.5 furlongs on the 13th of September, winning by a nose from a tracking trip. She won quite nicely. Back in drip, trading well at 10 to 1. I'll use her in that late pick 4. To recap my selection now for the ninth from Churchill, it's the Mamzelle Stakes. Let's take the 9 horse My Sweet Affair. Give kudos to the 5 horse Dance Macabre, and 9548 Super, 95 in your multi race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.